Welcome back, my friends. We are on the second episode. No, this is not the second. This is the first. This is the first episode. Okay, well, the first quote-unquote first episode was the introduction, and that is not really I wouldn't qualify it as an actual episode. So, welcome to the first episode. I'm very excited for this topic. I'm going to be excited for all topics because I think they're all important. Because I did them. No, I'm kidding. I just think that the topics that we're going to discuss are really important. So some of them are going to be really serious. Some of them are just going to be not so serious. And I think this one is in the middle. It's serious, but I don't think it's dramatically serious. I don't know. You guys decide and let me know what you think. This episode, it's about friendships and my own experiences, because we're going to talk about my experience with friendships, how I have had friendships in the past, current relationships, and kind of how to walk away from a friendship or relationship. I'm talking more about friendships here. I'm not talking about intimate relationships or even parent relationships, family relationships just yet. Those are going to be in different episodes. For this one, we're going to do friendships with friends. So my experiences with friendships, I feel like have been so-so. I remember when I was younger, I had a friend. We were in grammar school together, then high school, and then that was it. And it was a really good friendship in the beginning. Our families were friends. We were always hanging out, going on vacations together. So things seemed to be really good, and I was happy. I was younger. I forgot how old I was when I met the family. I think it was more, maybe kindergarten, very, very young. And my recollection of the relationship was that it was good. And then more in high school was when I experienced that she would get mad at me and then wouldn't talk to me, completely ignore me. I would come into class and she would just not say boo to me. So whenever I would go in the classroom, she just would ignore me. And I am forgetting about how things transpired, what had happened, but she just ignored me. So she would just ignore me, and that was really hard for me. Being ignored is very hard. And I didn't realize until more recently that being ignored is a trigger for me that I have with a relationship with my dad, because he would just ignore. So I would get triggered and not really know. At that time, I still had a relationship with my dad. More recently, I don't. But at that time, I wasn't sure what the fuck was going on, because I was just hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Not having a clue. Maybe I did something wrong. There was not an open communication, and I'm not really sure exactly what happened. So as time went on, I've always had a little bit of trouble keeping and forming relationships that were really genuine, and I wasn't sure why. Until this day, I feel like I'm still unsure why it's like that. And now I kind of know a little bit more now, I feel like. But back then, I'm there's something wrong with me. I have an issue. No one likes me. It's me, 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 me. And yes, I think it's very good to be insightful on how you are as a person and as a friend, to see okay, am I really doing something wrong? For example, am I coming to the table and going out and just talking about myself? Because that would be something a reason why somebody wouldn't like me. If you go out and you just talk about yourself all the time and never ask the other person, hey, how's your life going? How's work? How's the family? Blah, blah, blah. So I would say more now, I became more insightful, how I am as a person, and kind of know what I want in a relationship. So I feel like I have formed many different relationships in my lifetime. And more recently, a couple of years ago, I feel like I had to cut off a group of friends that I did have. And there was nothing wrong with these girls at all. There was not a bad bone in their body. It just wasn't feeling right for me anymore. And this is what I kind of wanted to let you guys know, was when to know when a relationship, like a friendship, is no longer serving you. So I kept on realizing every time I would hang out with this specific group of people, I would come back home and I would feel completely depleted and not happy. Not sure why I would feel that way, but it would happen over and over again. Like I didn't feel fulfilled, I didn't feel supported, and I was like, all right, like maybe. And listen, to be quite honest with you, I am a very sensitive person. So things probably maybe that normally wouldn't hurt someone's feelings, it would hurt my feelings. And I had to really accept the fact that that's just the type of person I am. I am sensitive, but doesn't mean like other people are pieces of shit just because I'm sensitive. And I think the people, like I said, the relationships that I had a couple of years ago with friendships, they were like different things that were happening, and I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's just time for me to walk away. And that was very hard. Like I took myself out of the group chats, and of course, that feeling of abandonment and like, am I good enough, kept on creeping into my head. But I didn't want to no longer feel like not good enough and like always feel like I have to like have an argument. And we weren't having arguments. It was like I having an argument in my own head of things, if that makes sense. And I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So what I really did was bow out. I kind of disappeared a little bit. And eventually I was gone. And the beginning was hard, and it's really hard when you realize. It is very hard to realize relationships and friendships that you had that you feel like you have to let go. That's the hardest part. Now, doing something about it is even harder. Now, a little fun fact about me, I really don't like confrontation. I'm not a fan of it. If I had a confrontation with somebody, it's something that I had to like think about, and it's not something that I actually want to do, but I know I have to do it. I would rather, like, I don't know, what would I rather do? I'd rather get my ass waxed than have conflict with somebody, because it makes me super uncomfortable, and it's not something that I want to do. I really don't. And I also don't like to avoid. So it's like a very like sticky thing for me, because I'm not a fan of conflict, but I also don't like something lingering for like the longest time. And the way that I felt about it was like the pros and cons. Okay, so like, will I feel better if I stay in these relationships, or will I feel better if I just leave? And I made my decision. I decided to kind of bow out, like I said, and leave. And after a long time, I felt a lot better. I felt like maybe I wasn't being judged, or maybe I was making it up in my own head. But here's the thing. I feel like if we have a feeling about something, this gut reaction, this gut intuition, it might be happening. You know what I mean? I feel like there's not a feeling that you get implanted into your body, into your brain, that may not be true. Now, don't get this mixed up with like extreme negative self-talk. I'm talking about that gut intuition that you have on like a normal basis that sometimes we just don't listen to. So, again, I am not very good with this, like the confrontation or like walking away. I don't think that's the most productive thing to do or effective thing to do, because those people may not know why you walked away. And I felt like I just didn't have the energy to go over to every single person and be like, hey, this is what I felt, and la la la. Like, it just wasn't. I feel like it wasn't what I needed to do at that time. Was it the right thing to do? I don't know. Maybe not. But you might be listening to this and thinking, okay, I have like this set of friends that whenever I hang out with them, I don't feel the best of the best. And I'm not sure why. I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't feel great. I really do invite you to tune into those feelings of, why don't you feel the best when you leave those people? Now, again, I'm not saying these people are terrible people, because they're not. Like, for me, In your case, they might be terrible people, toxic, like extremely terrible people. And then you really know, like, I think I might have to walk away from this. But sometimes, majority of the time, they're not terrible people. They're just not your people. And that's okay. So, if you don't see me around any type of group, you probably will know that I just don't feel my best surrounded by the like different types of people. And as I get older, it gets harder and harder. It's not easy. I am in my 30s. I know I said I wasn't going to say my age, but I am 33. And as I get older, I am very in tune with who I want around me. I'm very in tune with who I want to give my energy to. This will be another episode. But who is worth your time and your energy? I really want you to think about it. And you might be oh shit. Like anytime I leave that person, I don't feel good. And also you want to look inside yourself and see, yes, these people and I feel this way, and no one can tell you how you feel, but you also want to be insightful on like what you bring to the table and what you could be doing wrong. Because it's always good to look back and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should have just listened more. Maybe I should have, not talked so much, or, whatever it was. But, you always want to be insightful with yourself too. I really hope that you got some sort of insight on this episode in regards to friendships. It is not easy to walk away, but sometimes you have to make the decision to walk away. Again, getting older, you become more specific, and regardless of your age, if you're in your 20s or younger, or even older, whatever your age range, you should always be very specific about who you spend your time with. So thank you so much, guys, for listening to me again for our first episode regarding friendship. Come follow me on Instagram, I can never say that.
Please hang up and try again.
_Kristen_Ann88. Thanks for taking out your time to listen to me, because you fucking deserve it. Bye, guys.